We have quite a bit of information to cover in this video, so I'm not going to waste too much time on the intro, but I would just like to kick things off by saying a massive thank you to both 2K Games and HB Studios for inviting me along to the recent preview presentation, along with a number of other members throughout the whole community. Truly was an honour to have been able to attend the event and to get some Q&A time then with the developers once that had finished, and hopefully between myself and everyone else who was there, we'll be able to answer as much, if not all, of the questions that you've had up until this point revolving around the game. So just once again, a massive thank you to both 2K and HB for that. And just also as well, just to say a massive thank you as well to 2K, just for all the in-game footage that you're going to see in this video has been provided by 2K themselves. So again, just a massive thank you as well for getting that footage across to myself so I could show it here to you guys in this video. So with all that said and done out of the way, let's get straight on into things, and we'll kick it off with what is going to happen the second that you boot up the game. So when you boot up 2K21 for the very first time, you're going to be greeted with a very, very familiar setting. That is, of course, the practice facility that we know from the current games. So whether you're a brand new player to the series, to the franchise, you've never played any of the TGC games before, or if you're a long time veteran of the series and you want to just brush up on your skills before you dive straight into the game, this is where you will be taken to, and obviously you'll be able to get a feel for the swing initially, as well as also be introduced to kind of a new, more detailed, in-depth shot modifier, I suppose you could call it, which will be obviously for loft, draw, fade, etc. And this time it's called True Shot, which is going to allow you to not only adjust the dynamic loft, but also your attack angle of the ball, which you can see here now on screen. Which what I'll do is I'll just pause it real quick just so you can take a little bit of a look at that. So as you can see there on the left hand side, where it's given a description of what to do for the controls and stuff, you can see that it now says hold the True Shot button, which in this case, being an Xbox controller, it is the left bumper, so I presume that would be L1 on PS4, and if you're using an Xbox controller on PC, I presume it would be left bumper as well. I presume you may be able to customize that maybe, but to enter True Shot mode. So while in True Shot mode, you can use the left stick to increase dynamic loft, so positive spin is left stick down, or decrease dynamic loft, negative spin, which is left stick up. But then it also has on the right hand side of the little diagrams, I suppose you could say, at the bottom you can see where it's the right stick for this is going to be, you can independently adjust your attack angle while in True Shot mode. So this will be use a right stick hit up on the ball, so negative spin is right stick up, or down on the ball, positive spin is right stick down. And you can and then it says you can increase dynamic loft of your shot and land this shot, or to land this shot close to the cup. Sorry, I'm reading that completely wrong, but yeah, for this demo purposes. So it does seem that there is a lot more in depth in terms of being able to strike the ball and your attack, as it says, your attacking angle and adding loft and decreasing loft or whatever. So haven't had hands-on personally with myself with the game, but that to me just suggests that we will be able to have more control over spin control on the ball. So maybe land it past the hole, get it to check, depending on your attack angle and your dynamic loft, and get it to roll back to the hole, similar to what you see the pros doing in real life. So I'll touch a little bit more on the gameplay mechanics from what I can gather from them so far, from seeing all the footage in a few more minutes in the video, just in regards to swing mechanics and all that sort of stuff, what we can hopefully expect to see, including the likes of difficulty for the game and all, and how you can customize that to your own liking. So next up we have the golfer. Your golfer does customization, and you can customize your golfer with hundreds of items across 15 different brands, and they do say that possibly more down the road will be added, whether they're additions onto the current brands or maybe some new brands might appear, we don't know yet, and maybe just some wacky fun ideas as well. You can save up to 5 outfits, so you'll have your, similar to TGC 2019, you'll have your casual round, and then your casual round outfit, and then your rounds 1, 2, 3, 4 for all of the different events. When it comes to customizing your golfer, you can be as detailed as you want. So somebody like me, you could spend forever customizing your golfer to try and get him or her to look as close to yourself as possible. Or if you just want to skip all that, get onto your clubs, get out onto the course and start playing the game as quickly as you can. You can simply just choose from one of the multiple presets, head or face presets that they have readily available in the game for you, so you can skip all that sort of customization in depth and just get straight on in there. Now some of the clothing items can be purchased with your hard-earned currency in game, while others will be unlocked through both level progress, rival rewards, and also sponsor rewards in PGA Tour career mode. So there will be a good chunk of stuff to unlock, and you'll certainly be able to customise your golfer, as I mentioned a moment ago, as detailed as you want face wise, but go crazy with the multiple hundreds of items for your own personal customization in regards to clothes. So moving on to clubs and club selection, right out the starting gates, if you want, you can jump straight onto the hardest difficulty clubs if you wish to. So those long hitting drivers, but they will have very little forgiveness. You can jump straight into them if you wish to, or you can go with the more relaxed clubs. A number of the clubs will be locked behind career mode, sponsor challenges, contract goals, so you won't be able to unlock those until you have achieved those particular goals. But otherwise, any club that is not locked behind specific career goals, you will be able to get them as soon as you have the in-game currency built up. You'll be able to get those and get them straight out there on the course and get swinging away with those as well. So moving on to career mode, and as I mentioned a moment ago, you will have, or a couple of minutes ago, you will have challenges you'll have rival challenges throughout the career mode. So just a quick recap on the 12 PGA Tour pros that we will have rivalries against as you progress through the career mode, starting off with cover athlete Justin Thomas. Then it'll be Cameron Champ, Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Kuchar, Kevin Kisner, Gary Woodland, Billy Horschel, Ian Poulter, Tony Finau, Jim Furyk, Sergio Garcia and Patrick Cantley. So as you progress on through the career mode, you'll be similar to TGC 2019's career mode. You'll take on rivalries, and you'll be able to do you'll have head-to-head battles, as well as, similar again to TGC 2019, you can outperform them points wise. So depending on how you finish throughout an event, you'll gain, I presume it'll be pretty similar, you'll gain points towards, and once you reach the threshold of those points, you'll have defeated that rivalry and you'll move on to the next one, all the way through career, leading up to, as you're on the race for the FedEx Cup, take on the man himself, as I mentioned, cover star Justin Thomas. The PGA Tour career season is going to play out across 30 events over the 15 official courses. I don't know personally myself if any HB official fantasy style courses are going to be thrown into the mix there, or if it's going to be just a rotation of the 15 courses. I will assume that it will most likely be the official HB courses as well that are non-RCRs. You could also start out on the Corn Ferry, so you'll be building up to earn your PGA Tour card. And a Corn Ferry season is going to play out across a 7-event season. So over those 7 events, you'll place your way, build your way up, get your tour card, and then move on to take on the PGA pros in a career season across those 15 courses. And just a really quick recap as well of the courses, just in case anybody did miss any of them. The 15 official courses are as follows: Atlantic Beach Country Club, Copperhead Course, East Lake Golf Club, Quail Hollow Club, Riviera Country Club, and TPC's Boston, Deer Run, Louisiana, River Highlands, San Antonio, Sawgrass, Scottsdale, Southwind, Summerlin and Twin Cities. So now moving on to gameplay, and the game is going to, what 2K and HB Studios want to do is they want to bring the golf game back to the big stage, back to the main stage, to what everyone loves. So there's going to be 6 difficulty levels in the game, ranging from beginner all the way up to legendary. Now, this doesn't mean that anybody who's brand new to the series is going to be thrown straight into the deep end, and it doesn't mean that long-time players all the way back to TGC 1 right up to now are going to be saying this is way too easy, what's going on, like it's gone too easy. Now they're making it accessible for everybody, so as I mentioned there, anybody who has never once touched a TGC game should hopefully feel right at home and be eased into the things. And with the different difficulty levels, so starting off with, say, your rookie level, you'll have, what you can see in the background with the gameplay is the Pro Vision, or the shot arc. So like that'll take into account your lie, elevation, wind and such, and project the path that the ball will take should you hit a nice good sweet shot. But but as you progress up through the difficulties, you should be you will lose some. So just say, for example, if you go all the way from the rookie up to say amateur, you might lose one or two. It could be the shot arc, and it could be the power bar or the putt preview, something along those lines. But what you can also do is you can customize the difficulties to your own settings. So if there's a particular way you want to play, maybe you just want mid-range sort of swing difficulty, but you want to have only aids on similar to what we've had in the current games. As far from what we know, you can more than do that, no problem at all. Moving the aim and reticle, or the aim and circle, should I say, or when you're on the green, the putting marker. If you do have the power bar on, what you'll notice that does is moving it back and forward. You'll see that the power bar is going to adjust for power percentage accordingly, and this will actually be a great thing. Like a lot of long time players like myself, shall I say, will kind of have a feel for how tempo is going to work. But for newcomers, it's gonna be a great way for you guys to be able to get used to a feel for executing those partial swings. So if you want just a half or a 3/4 swing on a flop shot, say you're just off the green or in a greenside bunker, you'll be able to get that practice in for judging how far the club is going to come back, or you need the club to come back to execute that partial swing. Now the swing mechanic does seem to be pretty similar, and very much along the lines of TGC 2019, should I say, but it has, through the development of the game and through player and community feedback, it is quote-unquote naturally evolved. So no longer do we have a tempo on the backswing. Tempo is now just on the downswing. And what else you'll be able to do as well, you'll notice from the power bar, you'll see it in a few shots, you'll see it yourselves when you're playing the game as well, that it'll go over that 100%, so you'll get into 101 plus on. So for power is that you'll be able to overswing, and that will generate more power, a little bit more distance, maybe a bit more spin, and so on. But at the same time as well, you'll still have the fast and the slow on the downswing, and so obviously a fast will still draw the ball to the left or hook it if it's a very fast, and vice versa. If you hit a slow, you're going to slice or fade the ball off to the right hand side, or if you're playing lefty, you'll be going left. From what I presume that the game will play very similar to what sticks you can use as the current game, so you can swing with either the left or the right stick, whichever one you're comfortable with. I know there have been a lot of people that have actually been questioning about, will there be a 3-click swing? No, there will not be a 3-click swing, not that I know of anyway. I have not heard anything whatsoever. There was nothing at all mentioned about that, so it will be still stick, pull the stick back, push the stick forward. And as I mentioned, the difficulty will affect your swing as well, so no matter the clubs that you have equipped. So it seems like you will, if you have it on the highest difficulty, on that legendary difficulty, and you have the least forgiving clubs that are going to give the biggest distance, you're really going to want to be very, very precise when it comes to your swing. When it comes to the yardage book, you're definitely going to, especially as you start off, if you do start off in the lower difficulties and you're working your way up, you're going to want to take advantage of getting used to how that works, because that will give you some vital information, especially when you're on the harder difficulties. I mentioned in a previous video about a marker moving around and whether or not it was adjusting aim, but what it appears is that you're going to be able to set up your shot accordingly, so you'll be able to see precise or very detailed information on that yardage book. So just say, for example, you're not going to reach a par 5 in 2 shots, and you want to lay it up to leave yourself with either, say, a full shot or a full pitch shot, and you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where on the yardage book and say, right, what's the club for that, and you'll be able to work from there. So definitely try and incorporate that into your game as a big suggestion from myself already. That's one tip that I will give, is to bring that in, to leave yourself those ideal shots that will help you out best. So finally, what I'm going to move on to is the designer. Now, I am not going to delve into too much detail on this one. I'm not a designer myself. I prefer to play the courses that all you designers throw out there to us here in the community. There is a number of designers that will have information for you, and I'm sure they will be able to give you much more detailed information. But I can't. But I will tell you anyway. The courses from TGC 2019 can be brought over to PGA Tour 2K21. So even if you're only in the middle of designing a course, you'll be able to port that across. When you port them across, you have the choice of, obviously similar to TGC 2019 from TGC2, you'll be able to just publish them right away if you want, or you can go in and edit them and tweak them and update them to whatever else is maybe in the designer, and maybe polish them up even further and really refine the course to how you want it. There is going to be thousands of objects at your disposal, giving you endless number of creations for you to come up with, so you can be as detailed as you want. And objects are not locked to a specific theme. So just say, for example, you are doing a boreal theme or a desert theme, and you want to use something from the Swiss theme. You'll be able to use whatever is. You'll be able to use those Swiss theme items in the boreal or in the desert theme or the autumn theme, whatever themes that there are. I'm just throwing out the names of the names of themes from the current games, but yeah, you are not limited to one specific set of objects or items and placeables for a certain theme. You'll be able to just go absolutely wild with your imagination and create the courses that you want. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope I have answered as many questions as possible, and I hope the others are going to be able to do the same for yourselves. If you managed to make it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching, and just once again a massive thank you to 2K for passing on this gameplay footage within this video to me. And also again thanks to 2K and HB for inviting me along to the preview presentation earlier on. And I shall talk to you all tomorrow for the next video in my personal top 5 RCRs on TGC 2019. Once again, I hope you did enjoy it. Until tomorrow, take care, have yourselves a good one, and bye for now.